The Ayyubid Empire marched its way across the Middle East, slaughtering all who they came into contact with. Jerusalem fell, and the Seljuks were kicked out of Antioch territory, and then forced to flee into the mountains. Meanwhile, the Byzantine Empire held their position in Europe, preparing for the Crusaders. They then slaughtered them all and instantly marched their troops eastwards, towards the enemy lines. Now, these two great powers will fight to the death for control over the Middle East. Firstly, the Seljuks in between were instantly invaded. Most of the land fell to the Byzantines. The Ayyubid Sultanate set up defences in the new territory annexed by Byzantium and held the mountain pass. The Byzantines moved their troops around, choosing to go the long way through. Then, from out of those defences, emerged the Ayyubid forces. They pushed forwards and seized Amorium. One by one, after that first manoeuvre, the Ayyubid Empire captured all Byzantine settlements. The armies of Byzantium were frequently outnumbered by the Ayyubids. The Ayyubid Sultan ordered his troops to press on for the capital, Constantinople, where there was to be one great final battle. His main force will cross over the straits and invade the city from the coast. However, he then sent another force in secret to land further away and to march across and hit Constantinople in the back. The Sultan invested everything into this battle. He knew all of Christendom would feel the need to step in. This was too far, and the Sultan knew it. If the settlement was not taken quickly, if the Byzantines were to hold out, then the Crusaders would arrive to save the day. Would the Byzantines hold, or does it all end here? They arrived in great, overwhelming numbers. The Byzantines set up their defences on the battlefield. Everything went silent until the Ayyubid Sultan ordered them to fire. Flaming rocks were catapulted into the city, burning everything they touched. The Byzantines returned fire. The battle was fought like this for hours until both sides had run out of ammunition. The Seljuks, in preparation, had constructed massive siege towers that moved towards the walls. The alchemists of Byzantium worked tirelessly, leading up to its siege. Greek fire. They only had one shot with this. Ammunition was short. Flames exploded from the Byzantine walls and engulfed the Ayyubids. Those who survived instantly broke. Towers collapsed. Many men were lost. The Byzantines had used up all their Greek fire. No trace of it remained in the city. The Ayyubid Sultan ordered another wave of troops to attempt to take the walls, this time with the ladders. These were cheaper and more plentiful, but left the men vulnerable to arrow fire. Naturally, the Byzantines responded with hundreds of arrows. The Ayyubid Empire reached the walls, and the fighting finally began. The Byzantines forced all their troops onto the front and began slaughtering the Ayyubids as soon as they stepped forth onto the walls. The Byzantines suddenly got their hopes up for victory, and the Ayyubid morale was about to waver. They would then force these Ayyubids back to the coast, trap them, and kill them all, including their great Sultan. But then, as the Byzantines' hopes had reached their peak, news arrived that a second army had been spotted marching to the back of the city. This second Ayyubid army, the one who crossed at the other crossing, had arrived. They pushed forwards hastily and set their ladders to the walls on the other side of the city. The Byzantines tried to force troops onto that front, but their forces were suddenly divided into two. Chaos broke out. at the thought of getting surrounded. The second Ayyubid army made it into the city and raced towards the plaza. They captured it, held it, and slaughtered the Byzantine emperor. The soldiers, the alchemists, and the priests all were cut down. It had to be done to maintain order. Constantinople fell. The Ayyubid Sultan claimed his victory. And there we are. The trilogy of Kingdom of Nothing is finally over. Of course, this is an edited series. I can't always do these. Of course, they do take a lot of time to do. So they are rare on my channel, but they're still things I do enjoy doing. And yeah, from definitely the likes and comments I can tell that other people like them also. This was based off of, it wasn't of course history, it was based off a hot seat that was done in my Discord server of YouTubers. There were many YouTubers in here, and yeah, I'm really thankful to all of those YouTubers for participating in this. If I get any of these names wrong, then I'm sorry, but the winner of course was Your Total War Master, obviously. He was playing as the Egyptians, or Ayyubid Sultanate as I called him in this, Ayyubid Empire, sorry. And then there was the Shattered Reaper playing as Byzantium in this. He has done some Warhammer 2 stuff before. Your Total War Master, you already know him, he does all the hot seat stuff. Then there was Ludotorix playing as Antioch. Some of you know him, he's currently doing a Rebels campaign for Medieval 2, which is interesting, and he does some like faction guide sort of thing. Then playing as Jerusalem, we had ADG. He does, you know, some battles on his channel, some hot seats, a bit of a mixture of a lot of things. And then finally, we had the Turks were a bit of a cursed faction. We had one guy who had to leave. Then we had another guy who replaced him who broke the rules. Then we had another guy who replaced him who could no longer do it. And then eventually I took over the role of the Turks. So yeah, that was a bit of a cursed faction. But yeah, two other YouTubers who took part in that were Historical Gameplay and Constipated Wonka. So check those two out. The Historical Gameplay does some of the Total War stuff. He adds a history theme to it, sort of thing. And yeah, I think that's everything. And of course there was me who was spectating it, and I played as Venice as well. And I played as the Turks for the final 5 turns. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed. Hope to see you in the next video. Whatever it is I do, or the next series like this I do. There will be another series like this. The current plan, I think, is to have it as an Alexander the Great campaign. And that will be the next one done in this style. That's the current plan. I'm unsure yet. And if you want to be involved in any of my hot seats in the future, then join my Discord, and there'll be another one starting in about 2 or 3 weeks, I think. So yeah, sometime in July there'll be another hot seat starting, which will be for Medieval 2 Total War, the big vanilla map. But anyway, hope you've enjoyed. Please do subscribe if you have, or share if you're already subscribed, and goodbye.